Question 659. Do you think non-disclosure agreements should be banned from all workplaces? Bad-tempered Dave.
No, but...
Go on.
I think they should be much less prevalent than they are, and I think that for many employers, they just shouldn't do them. I don't know how you could actually enforce that, and I don't think that there's really an ethical way to enforce that. But I think that they are overused by employers.
Well, the ethical way to do it is to ban them,
and because then you can't have them when they're actually needed.
Yeah.
When are they needed?
When the business is murdering people.
The point is the business shouldn't be murdering people.
Or if it's the U.S. government. Whatever, same thing.
Well...
No, they're actually needed in certain things like the intricate details of some copyrighted process or something. Oh, what the fuck am I talking about? I don't know shit about this. Someone else. Someone knows.
You don't know shit about this. I'm fairly certain I got this question from one of your billboards.
Yeah, I put a lot of those. I put it up because I don't know about the topic, but I want to present a contentious opinion on it, so people will comment.
So, what's your contentious opinion on it? If that's you've offered quite a reasonable opinion so far.
Yeah, fuck it, ban them. See what other people say.
Manda.
Okay, so I think honestly they're overused, but I think that there, like Badger said, there are instances where it's necessary. I think it should be up to the person signing it if they should. Like, it should be their decision to sign it or not. It shouldn't be forced upon them. It shouldn't be like, you sign this NDA or you're not getting severance or whatever the fuck. If you decide, that okay, I'm going to respect this person's private life or whatever and not bring it up, then yes, it can happen. But in terms of, like B said, with government and stuff, that shit shouldn't fly, especially when you're talking about corruption and things behind the scenes and then being forced to sign an NDA so that can't get in front of Congress and say shit that is happening in our country right now. That's bullshit.
So do you think that the NDA should be specific then?
Yes, that too. It shouldn't be it shouldn't be a blanket NDA. It should be, this is something that cannot be talked about specifically, and it should be up to that person signing it whether they should.
I have an example of a bullshit one. I worked at Amazon, and we worked in the warehouse, loading trucks, blah, 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 blah. Well, they made us sign an agreement that we would not take any pictures, discuss anything in there. And I was like, okay, well, they don't want their competition knowing. And then they would put out videos of filming the entire place. And I'm like, the fuck? It's exactly where I work. You're showing almost everything.
In a certain light. That's why. Because they know.
Right, which means it's fucking
with
stupid.
Amazon, the way you guys were treated is fucked. But when they have videos like they did a few months ago where people are like, ooh, when I'm putting packages together, I like to dance and shit like that. It makes it look like it's a great workplace.
That shit doesn't happen.
If they show all the shiny, fun version of the process, it gets other people to pay them. Whereas if you show Dave pissing in the packaging machine, then that doesn't present it so well.
Which Dave are you implicating here?
Dave?
Question here.
It doesn't matter, it's just Dave.
Serious question.
Himself.
Jeff?
Yes.
Jeff,
Serious question here. So you work in a warehouse. We want to assume then that you're handling items with addresses on, i.e., which are like personal details.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's probably why you're not allowed to take pictures or anything in there.
I think it's more.
Well, yeah, but there's people that never see that part of it. That's the very end of the process. The last thing they do is put labels on.
Yep, true.
And there's people on the other side of the warehouse that don't even walk over. And believe me, these warehouses are fucking huge.
You actually
They don't
have
even go to that section. You have to like walk in the door and go clock in at your section immediately and say that you're there, and then say you're leaving for lunch and say you're back. So they keep track of where everybody is, and there's people that never even come downstairs. All they do is pick all day, and they have to sign
you're
the same
right.
agreement.
Yeah,
They have
there is
Hold on.
making someone sign to say that you are not going to break anyone's privacy.
Now, I had to sign something when I started the job I worked at. There's two parts to this. I mean, most people associate it with the military in this country. I had to sign something called the Official Secrets Act when I started my job. Which means, that's
how many times?
Oh, I think several times. I
don't know why they make you. When I went for the Inland Revenue, they made me do the same. Just over and over again. Just sign it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was something I had. That was certainly something I had to sign when I started there. And for that very reason. In that, I mean, that's an ultimate in a non-disclosure agreement, really, because and it's a very good reason it's in place. Now, do I think necessarily every employer should be have NDAs? Not necessarily, but there's certainly situations where it has to be kept in house.
Well, how far were you? When did you come back? Because we said that whether or not there should be specific, whether or not an NDA should have specific details of what you're not allowed to share.
I missed that bit.
So
rather than generic. Go on. Sorry.
When I worked, it was long enough ago. I don't remember actually signing NDAs, but there were parts of working for NASA where they would be like, "We don't really talk about this," that kind of thing. It was strongly suggested.
It's aliens, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we know about the flat Earth and the moon landing papers. Mans are all right. You don't have to be fucking quiet about it anymore.
My work has you sign one every single year. They renew it.
Sorry, Mans, that you walked into that one.
Go on, Amanda.
I'm just saying that it was, it was. I mean, I didn't have access to a ton of this shit because, like I said, I worked in the education program, not the shuttle program, but still there were things that our bosses would tell us. Okay, well, we're not discussing this outside of these four walls. So, but we might have signed some NDAs, but it was so long ago, I don't honestly remember. That's government, though. So.
The problem is, the problem I have with excluding government is that there isn't really a meaningful distinction between government and business when you look at different countries. It's the problem you've got here. I got into an argument with someone, it might even have been Badger, as to whether or not you it might about how you treat civil servants in certain conditions, and the fact that would you class nurses in the UK as civil servants? Now, in the rest of the world, no, it was rhetorical.
I thought of that.
Right. So the point is, what you class as government employee or what you class as is not really a meaningful decision because it depends on what your government decides it's going to do. The distinction now between Boeing and NASA is mostly irrelevant, given how integrated they are in so many things. I don't know, but I don't think. Go on.
I think I understand that, but I think what I meant was in terms of politics and policy. When it comes to science and stuff like that, that's a little different. That's it could be dangerous to share that shit, and you don't want the competition finding stuff out. I mean, that's why we were and like I said, it was so long ago. The stuff that I was told not to talk about anyway is probably irrelevant at this point, but still, it was this stays here because we're working on this and trying to make it better, and we don't need people taking the shit from us. So.
Well, I still believe there's different levels of NDAs because there you have the basic, oh, you work here, like at my job, don't reveal patient's information. That's absolutely. And then you have the level of this is top secret shit. I think that's too much of a. Well, I'm going to use your term, Amanda. It's too much of a blanket term because it varies with every single job. I mean, I've had some that say don't disclose information, some that say don't disclose information, don't take pictures, don't do videos. Some, what I mean? Like it's that's tough. I mean, you'd have to pick apart the different industries and really, I was a truck driver and they made us agree not to reveal what's in our truck, but we didn't want to do that anyways because you get your ass fucking hijacked. But it's so there's different levels of it.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
Nerdy says, I like how nobody is saying they had to sign an NDA in order to be on Critical Questions. Of course they can't because they had to sign it.
Well, part of the NDA is not admitting to the NDA, so
reveal that I literally don't have a body. Shit. I meant to say that on stream.
Tricked you. See, I didn't break the NDA.
By the way, realizing what number question we're on, I'm calling space for tomorrow.
Are you?
Me too. Yeah. Me too.
I have a strict number of questions to do today.
Me too.
Or you could just save it for my stream.
No, I've got other things planned for that.
No.
Now, Amanda.
I know where we're
I
getting.
will at least be in the audience since I'm off tomorrow morning.
You're off?
Yes.
You can.
I thought we were all off every day.
Yeah, pretty much.
By the way, Dave, my video about the Toblerone thing that's not covered under the NDA.
No. No.
I'll tell you what, that question better be fucking good when we get to it, Dave.
You have a high expectation.
Like he's gonna worry about it all night tonight. He's gonna look and
it'll be such a fucking anticlimax when it gets in.
You have no
so
idea.
It'll be the Antichrist. It'll be the anticlimax.
Yeah, pretty much.
Same difference.
Is that Daisy?
Still not very exciting.
Oh, she sounds better.
My speakers aren't on. She can't hear.
Dogs have pretty good hearing. She might hear it in your ears.
She can't. Right. Music Collector says, question. How do you get a job after being on Dave?
It's not very easy.
That's part of the non-disclosure agreement, so we can't tell you.
Yes, I'm sorry. My bad.
You mean this or the TV channel?
That's what I was wondering.
That's why Badger finds Badger.
Right.
Yeah, we could tell you, Music Collector, we could tell you, but we'd have to kill you.
That too, yeah.
If you enjoyed that, please hit the thumbs up button. If you didn't, hit the thumbs down. If you think you've got a better answer or just want to tell us how wrong we are, leave a comment down below. Subscribe down here for new questions every day and make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss out on our live shows. If you click over here, you'll see our latest upload. Over here, for what YouTube thinks you'll love the most. And finally, for a complete playlist of all our currently released questions, click here.